Operating out of San Cipriano d'Aversa, in the Caserta region between Naples and Latium, the Casalesi clan, controlled by Antonio Bardolino, is the most powerful Italian criminal group within the Camorra. Being one of the Camorra's most prominent factions, the gang specializes in construction and maintain a lower profile than clans who deal in drug trafficking. Watch the video till the end, as we tell you everything about the Casalesi clan and how the Italian criminal organization operates. The beginning. Having committed over 1,000 killings in the last 3 decades, the Casalesi clan unite all the criminal families in the province of Caserta. The proper beginning of this powerful clan dates back to the 20th century, when Mario Lovin made Antonio Onigno Bardolino the capo of the family at a very young age. This was largely a result of Mario Lovin being on the run for more than a decade. Consequently, Antonio, who himself was born on September 20, 1964, in San Cipriano d'Aversa, earned the nickname of Onigno, which means the baby. In the early days of Antonio, the clan maintained a lower profile by utilizing construction, distribution, and trash management as the top revenue generators for the crime families. For their own building companies, the Casalesi established a monopoly in the cement market and had complete control over the flow of supplies. Any company wishing to open shop in the region was required to pay the clan for permission and then purchase cement from them to construct their structures. The clan was also embezzling funds from the construction of the Santa Maria Capua Vetere jail and the Rome to Naples expressway. In the 1980s, when cocaine overtook heroin as the more lucrative narcotic around the world, Bardolino set up a trafficking enterprise to smuggle it from Latin America to Aversa via a fish flour import-export company. Not only this, heroin was transported with shipments going to the Gambino crime family, being hidden inside of espresso filters. After one of the Bardolino shipments was seized by the authorities, he famously called John Gotti and assured him not to worry about it because he was sending twice as much from another way. The Camorra War. Then came the 1980s Camorra War, in which the Casalesi clan joined with the Nueva Famiglia against Raffaele Cuttuolo. In one of the fights, 4 important Cuttuolo members were killed by Casalesis as they set up a machine gun on a hill in Ponte Annecino and started shooting. Following Cuttuolo's defeat, the Casalesi gained control of their region, and Antonio Bardolino settled in Santo Domingo with his family. But tensions among the Casalesi started to develop. These tensions were in the open when Francesco Schiavone and Francesco Bidognetti, who oversaw the clan's military operations, believed Mario Iovine, Bardolino's right-hand man, was too close to Bardolino, but disapproved of their aspirations for independence. What they did was treacherous, and was followed by a number of important Casalesi clan members getting killed. They somehow persuaded Bardolino to order the murder of Iovine's brother, and after that they informed Iovine that Bardolino had given his order on the basis of just a few rumors. This was the last major order given by Bardolino, as Iovine killed Bardolino as vengeance in his villa in Brazil after seeing him to discuss their cocaine operation in 1988. This murder was followed by several Bardolino-supporting men getting killed. These killings saw Francesco Schiavone taking over as the leader of the Casalesi clan. Reign and arrest of Francesco Schiavone. Capo Vincenzo De Falco betrayed second-in-command Francesco Bidognetti, who was detained in February 1990. A year later, De Falco was assassinated in Casal di Principe. And on March 6, 1991, Mario Iovine was murdered by his brother, Nunzio the Wolf De Falco, as retribution. The boss was shot all over inside a Portuguese phone booth. The De Falcos were ultimately vanquished, but Carmine Iovine, the brother of Antonio Iovine, was ambushed and assassinated in 1994. After 5 years on the lam, boss Francesco Schiavone was captured in 1998. During his arrest, police discovered many paintings created by the boss and a library devoted to his hero Napoleon in his lair, an underground bunker in his Naples villa. Before Francesco Schiavone's arrest, things were settling, as the Casalesi clan, led by mercurial Francesco Schiavone, became a dominant force. Another important thing before his arrest was the connection between the Cerci family and Licio Gelli, the leader of the defunct Masonic Lodge, was his nephew Gaetano Cerci. In the northern towns of the Caserta province, the Bidognetti and Tavoletta families became quite powerful. Between Naples and Caserta, they ran a number of illegal dumping sites. along with toxic garbage from companies, hospitals, and cemeteries. Tons of hazardous material from northern and central Italy were dumped into the landfills. The clan also played a significant role in the Naples waste management crisis that resulted in the release of toxic waste into Campania in the 1990s and 2000s. The clan's leader admitted to engaging in a 20-year campaign of systematic bribery of local politicians and officials to secure their consent to the release of toxic waste. After establishing a successful industry for disposing of municipal rubbish, primarily in the Triangle of Death, the clan automatically was in charge of handling rubbish disposal in the Campania region. However, they made full use of this, as they were partially responsible for the catastrophe that followed. Heavy metals, industrial trash, chemicals, and domestic waste were routinely combined with the collaboration of industrial companies, placed close to roadways, and then burned to prevent identification, resulting in significant soil and air pollution. Members of the clan were frequently seen saying, "The garbage is gold." The primary cause of the waste management dilemma and the Triangle of Death was the government's inability to stop illicit garbage disposal. Inability of the government to impose mandatory recycling and trash management programs led to an increase in opportunities for illicit activity, which in turn created more obstacles to resolving the waste situation. It was claimed that over a 20-year period, 10 million tons of industrial waste had been illegally dumped, leading to a 40 to 47% increase in malignancies brought on by pollution. Trial and verdict. After enjoying a few successful years, the arrests started. The first one to be arrested among the Casalesi clan was Francesco Cicciariello Schiavone, Francesco Schiavone's cousin, who was detained in Poland in March 2004 and charged with 10 murders, 3 kidnappings, 9 attempted murders, and extortion. Bidognetti and his son Agnello were charged in Parete in October 2003 with killing physician Gennaro Falco. Capo Sebastiano Caterino and Umberto De Falco were killed 2 weeks later. Finally, in June of the following year, Bidognetti along with 15 other Casalesi leaders were arrested. Their arrest was followed by one of the largest mafia trials in Italian history, the Spartacus trial, which involved the testimony of 500 witnesses, including 20 traitors, and the investigation of almost 1,400 people. With these investigations, 4 of the big bosses, including Michel Zagaria, the formidable capo of Casa Pesena, and Antonio Iovine, became fugitives. Several criminals and their relatives were assassinated in the months leading up to the court's deliberations. All of the police inquiries into the clan that were conducted after Francesco Schiavone's arrest were compiled into the Spartacus trial. A number of witnesses testified against their capo in the court, and after almost a decade-long trial against 36 members of the Casalesi family in total, the verdict finally came on June 19, 2008. However, this was by no means straightforward, as many trial participants were killed during the proceedings, and death threats were made against a judge and 2 journalists. In view of the verdict, life sentences were imposed on Francesco Schiavone, Francesco Bidognetti, Antonio Iovine, and Michel Zagaria, along with 16 others who will never be released after being convicted guilty of all charges. After this massive decision against the Casalesi clan, Antonio Iovine and Michel Zagaria shared leadership of the clan until Iovine was apprehended and detained on November 17, 2010. Zagaria was the only person in charge of the clan up until his own capture on December 7, 2011. He was located in a bunker close to his province of origin. After the verdict, if you think that this was the end of the Casalesi clan, then you are completely wrong, as the clans under Camorra has a more horizontal structure than the pyramidal Sicilian mafia. Because of this, clans and organizations are able to grow out of the ruins of the old ones easily. This made the Casalesi clan more resilient, even though their senior leaders were detained or killed. The coming of new leaders increased the Casalesi clan's influence in other European nations, especially Spain, which saw a significant increase in the Casalesi's involvement. This, however, is completely the opposite to what usually happens, as Camorra clans keep close ties to South American drug cartels, which makes it easier for drugs to enter Europe. The Casalesi clan have also formed agreements with the Albanian mafia and Nigerian drug gangs in recent years. The first foreign pentito, a Tunisian, acknowledged having connections to the infamous Casalesi clan of Casal de Principe. On top of this, Castelvolturno, which was granted to the Rapazes, which is a group of clans from Lagos and Benin City in Nigeria, was the first town in which the Camorra approved the stewardship of a foreign clan. This gave them the opportunity to smuggle cocaine and women into sexual servitude before transporting them across Europe. All in all, the Casalesi dynasty has ties to Albanian mobsters, Nigerian crime syndicates, and the milk and cement sectors, in addition to being extensively involved in the worldwide drug trade and supplying drugs to the mafia in Palermo. Their estimated market value for all of their assets is roughly 30 billion euros. Well, that's it for today's video. We hope you enjoyed the content of the video. If you did, show some love and hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you never miss out on any of the amazing videos we have in store for you.